Hello, my CNC brothers and sisters. Welcome to another Wednesday, a cold Wednesday across the entire United States. I'm looking at these comments, and I don't think anybody's above 20 Fahrenheit at this point. Sorry for you folks up in Canada, but I hope those over in Europe are faring much better. Much better. All right, so it's another CNC Wednesday evening hangout, and it's an open forum. It's just little old me tonight. Of course, I got my saviors in the background, Liberty and Julie Ann, which we will bring out in just a little bit. First, I want to say some hellos. Oh, yeah, and by the way, we will be doing another random giveaway. The ladies have got that kind of figured out what they're going to be doing, so we'll see what it is, and they will pop in randomly. I have no clue when they're going to do it. All right, so who we got? We got Greg. What's going on, Greg from STL, and Donald and Ellen. Hey, Ellen. Mark, what's going on? Joey Sawdust. I like that. That should be her official last name. Also, we are working on my internet connection. It's just slow where I'm at, and it is a challenge for me, but we just make it work. We got Lionel and Jetty. What's going on, Jetty? And we'll get Natural Live Edge, another cool name. And who else we got? Ernie and Brian, and what is this? Gmod Woodcrafts. Oh, that's a cool name. We kind of know who you are, right? And I mean, in the grandpa, grandma kind of way. And what's cool is you got G-Paw and G-Maw together. Means you're working together on this stuff. What's up, Dan and Darren? Oh, I got to scroll up a little bit. Wandering Star, my friend from down San Antonio, guy I ran into down at the Vectric thing. Speaking of Vectric and shows, Liberty and I will be down in Atlanta next weekend for the Workbench Con. So I hope y'all are going, or at least some of you. And Carrie, hello, Ralph, Roxanne. Yeah, and Wendell finally got the name down. Oz Brooks, and looks like there's a few new names here. Ray. Oh, very cool. We got some new people on board. Hey, do me a favor. If you are brand spanking new to CNC, if you are just getting into this, and if you don't have your machine yet, or you just got it, put in the comments, say I'm new. Because we're going to do the happy dance for you, all three of us that are on board right now. So I am going to bring the ladies that run the IDC Woodcraft show on board. So we're going to bring them on stage. So what?
Did you catch Liberty by surprise?
Liberty's frozen up. Oh, there she is. Yeah. Okay, well, next to me is Julianne. She's the administrative coordinator for IDC Woodcraft, keeps all the administration stuff going, and Liberty is the fulfillment manager. Make sure everything gets out to you, and you get your love package in the package. And
yeah, your M&Ms. Liberty and us.
What's that?
And your M&Ms.
Liberty and I. And our M&Ms, yes. You always get at least a bag of M&Ms sometimes too. I don't know. Sometimes she gets a wild hair and just grabs a handful. But that may be you. Who knows? That every package that goes out gets some M&Ms in it. Once in a blue moon, it slips by us, but that's very, very rare. Anyway, so they will be in the background making sure everything's taken care of. And they questions that you have, make sure you put a question mark or 2 or 3 in front of it, and they will star those questions so I can catch them. And so with that, ladies, guess you'll pop in when you need to pop in. Is there anything you want to share with the crew before you pop out? Any kind of cool stuff?
Flooding. Yeah, flooding here, and it's cold. It's very cold.
It is cold. It's really cold. Yeah. Yeah. And comments that everybody across the states is chilling out right now. And I read Ellen's post. She said she's been cutting up a storm because it's too cold outside. So she's been running in her shop crazy. All right, ladies, we'll bump you in the background, and they will be back there chewing the fat with you and watching out for those with it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes we get a sourpuss on board. All right, so let's see what's new over here. We should have some new products coming on the line here shortly. By the end of the month, we got a whole slew of ER collets, ER collet nuts. We're going to be getting T-Tracks online as new products. We got some new router bits coming, and we are working on, like I say every week, we are working on a very special brand new router bit that you didn't know that you needed, but you will want. If you think you wanted the beast, wait till you try this one. But we'll keep that one a secret for right now. I did want to share something. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to be out of town for the next 5 days. Won't be back online till Monday sometime. And then next weekend, heading right back out to Workbench Con. I'll be coming back Monday, and Wednesday, Liberty and I fly out to Atlanta. That'll be fun. Liberty hasn't been there before, but if you're there, make sure well, she'll make sure she chats with you. She's such a good socialite. It's like when it comes to socializing and there's a 10, she's like a 55. Her social skills are through the roof. Totally impressed me when we were down at Vectric. All right, let's see what we got going on. Drug Runner, that's an interesting name. Gary and Frank. So yeah, put in the comments if you're brand new to CNC routers, because we are going to call you out here in a while at some point. And Kimberly, if you're on board there, we are. I have been starting to talk to the team about coming up with an IDC shuffle. So we'll have our own unique little dance that we can give y'all. Okay, let's get into some questions. Bring in your questions. About 9 o'clock. If there's too many questions, we'll stop taking questions. Ladies, remind me if I forget to make that announcement. There's too many questions hanging out. If I have a question for Liberty or Julianne, ask them to post something in the comments. Make sure you take a drink, because that's the rule. Our brother Mark Lindsay came up with that. And Jack in the shop is the backup to make sure that everybody takes a drink when I make that request. Okay, let's start right off. And it goes right off with Ellen. She says, Garrett, do I have my wood stove working yet? Yes, sister, I do. I have burnt quite a bit of wood in the workshop. In fact, it smells like a fireplace in there. Whenever you go in there, I'll work on projects. This project right here, when I was done with it, I took it down to the office and showed it to the girls, and Julianne said, smells like fireplace. So this is a card holder, probably the most complex and most challenging project that I have done. And it's very, very cool. I am working on putting together the instructions now for this, because I'm going to give this file away. This has 13 different tool paths, 8 different router bits, and do lots of different things. Do the roundovers, cutting the slots, doing the 3D reliefs here. This cup here, that was a molding tool path. Super, super cool. And of course, did some text. And I did find out a little interesting thing about this particular font that I am using. That was, I don't have it with me. When I told the software to V-carve it, there were a few letters that it didn't V-carve, and they were selected. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I have to actually look into it, see what it was 2 letters. And I'm not sure if it was something to do with the way the letters were crossing over each other, or something with the Vectric software, but I don't think it'd be with the Vectric software. When you do V-carving, V-carves require closed vectors, and perhaps, possibly, a couple of those letters weren't considered closed vectors. So I don't know. I have to get back into it and check it out. But anyway, that file will be available. I'll let y'all know, especially if you're on the CNC Insiders email list. I will send that out to those on the CNC Insiders. The CNC Insiders is the email list that we have here at, which way do I point? IDC Woodcraft. There we go. And I have emails that go out on a regular basis that give you tips about CNC. I let you know when new videos are coming out, and when we have new product releases, the CNC Insiders get a 15% discount. So this bit right here is going to be going probably the end of March, early April. We'll probably release this. This is that special bit that you didn't know that you wanted really bad. And I bet you'll find out about it soon. And okay, so ladies, for the new people, we'll just hold off on calling those out because we're gonna do the happy dance all at one shot. All right, so Joey Sawdust, Garrett, I used the Beast a few times last week, and wow, it's all let's see, at least 5 to 10 times faster than any other end mill. I had to order a better dust boot to handle the dust. Yes, the Beast is a badass bit. It really is. It's just being very frank about it. I'm going to bring it up on the IDC website so that y'all can see what we're talking about. Most of you already know what this is, the Beast. Where are the roughing tools? We got to check that out. There it is. Hey, Julianne, put on your notes for the header image for the category. That needs to be changed to the coded bits, please. All right, so the Beast. Let's pull the Beast up and let y'all see the Beast. So I'm gonna. I almost want to play a video that shows this thing in action, but since my internet speed is slow, I don't think that would work too well. So we'll just right to the Beast, and that is the Beast, the hyperspeed roughing CNC router bit designed to remove a lot of material. I want to tell for the folks that don't know yet what the Beast is. This is what we call a roughing bit, and it's designed to basically hog out material really fast. So when you have your router bits like your upcut or your downcut straight edge, not straight edge, but end mills that have a nice straight edge all the way down, and you're using those to remove a lot of material, you are working those bits and you're slowly wearing it down. When you have a bit like this, the Beast, and you have to remove a lot of material, this will do all the tough work that needs to be done. The thing with this type of bit is it just chews up the wood. It doesn't leave a bad finish. It does have little serrations in the finish, but it just hogs right through it. You can go like twice as fast. Your step over is like 80%. Your depth of cut is twice as much as what you would normally do. So it is if you make projects where you're moving a lot of material, then you want to consider getting the Beast. Now this is a 1/4 inch diameter tool. We have that in 1/8 inch. We call it the Badger. We have a longer Beast, the 1/4 inch, and we have 3/8. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, right here. We've got it in 3/8 short and 3/8 long, and 1/2 inch short and 1/2 inch long. So if I can get my camera in focus, there you go. So that's it right there. That's the 3/8. We call this the deep slayer. So, yeah, if you are looking to remove a chunk of material really fast, that'll save a lot of time and it'll spare your bits. And these roughing bits last a lot longer than the finishing bits. So if you ever hear someone say finishing bits, that is like your upcut, your downcut end mills, the ones that leave a nice clean finish. That's kind of the terminology we use in machining, is roughing and finishing. All right, so yeah, it cranks out the sawdust for sure. All right, so Dan, got a question. I want to know if you can use a profile cut to cut out the large parts first, and then come back and go over some paths that use smaller bit for the details. So no, if you're going to do a cutout first, right? In this particular project here, all right, here we go. We're going to start knocking stuff over again. In this project here, like the third operation is the actual cutout of 13 different tool paths, but it leaves tabs, right? So the part is held together with tabs, so I don't worry about it. So even if you use like a down cut or compression, when you use down cut or compression bits to do a profile cutout, it's going to leave the sawdust down in the cut, and it'll actually pack it in there and help hold the part. But I wouldn't trust that, because other router bits coming in behind it can actually cause vibration and start making that part loosen up and then start to move. So the answer is no, don't do a profile cut or cut out, unless if you're using tabs, then you can. But just keep in mind how many points you want to secure the part with the tabs. For example, that one uses six different tabs, and they're fairly thick tabs, because I don't want the part to move or flex. And speaking of that, I saw a post today on Facebook where the person was doing a cutout of a bowl, not quite, a little bit bigger than this, and the bottom of the project, the tool is starting to make grooves on one side of it. And this is something that people don't really think about. When you're removing material out of a project like this, and you're doing all this work on one side, so we're cutting the grooves out, cutting this pocket out, what you're doing is you're removing support in the wood, in the material. And when you do that, this will have a tendency to actually flex up like that, because you're removing the stress of the support in the top side, so it can have a tendency to actually warp. So you always want to make sure you have all corners held down effectively. It's one of the things that people just don't always think about. So just remember, if you're hogging out a lot of material, secure all the 4 points of the corners of the project, so that if it wants to flex, it's not going to flex until you take it off the machine. Not flex, but actually warp. All right, Edwin, what's going on? Are you going to have Daniel from PWN CNC to introduce the new CNC machine that they're coming out with sometime in March? All right, let's Julianne, Liberty, let's make a note to get hold of Daniel, and we can bring them on board again so they can talk about that machine. Definitely want to talk to them. It's a good time to get Daniel back on anyway, and hopefully he's going to be down at Workbench Con. They were there last year. So ask the ladies to do something. Take a drink. Okay, John. So John, you said you have a 3D STL you purchased from Etsy. You can import it into Vectric version 12. If you save and create a new CRV file, class V carve, and reopen it, you don't see the project. Imported. What did I do wrong? So if you imported it, let me take a look, because I haven't done this in quite a while as far as importing a 3D model. I think it needs to come into design and make. So I don't, is Mark Lindsay on board here? He will be able to answer that better than me as far as answering that. So I got to go back to our main feed. Mark, there you are. Okay. Mark, maybe you can answer that question of how to get that 3D model into Vectric and get it to stay into Vectric, like Vectric has with their core STLs that they give to you in the file. So I would love to know. I don't really know the answer. So he says it should save with the STL. And then Drug Runner says he has the same problem with his laser jobs. No 3D preview. Mark's going to try it in the background. Hey, if you get that, Mark, if it'd be cool, and Julianne will give you the access to the stream, you can come on board and show these guys what to do. That would be really awesome. Okay. Whoops, got John already. And Tim, what's the best way to make a tapered groove from deep to shallow using a V-bit, like a couple of inches, and then out to the edge of a board? So that you can do that with a fluting toolpath. Find my fluting video, ladies, and put that in the comments. And it's an older video, so it doesn't go deep into fluting, but this is something where you'd want to use a fluting toolpath. I can show you real quick. So I'm going to go into my Vectric. Nope, got to share screen. Fluting toolpath is very cool. I really like the fluting toolpath, as you can do lots of cool things. So we are in Vectric version 12, and I am just going to make a quick, we're going to do just a quick line going through the project. Nope, that was a rectangle. I want a line. I'm going to do a line there to there. And that is, this whole project is 8 inches. So I'm going to escape that. We're going to go over to toolpaths. I have the vector selected. And up in the, now if you have cut to D, I don't think you're going to have the fluting toolpath. You don't. Okay. If you have cut 2D, you don't have the fluting toolpath. So the third row down, it's the first icon to the left. It's when you hover over it, it says fluting toolpath. And you set your start depth and you set your flute depth. So we're going to set this at a depth of 0.5, half of an inch. Then down below that, it says flute type. And you have a straight ramp over the complete length, which is the first selection. The next one is a ramp at the start, and then it will go straight. And then the third one is ramp at start and end. And then you can set your ramp length. So since this project is 8 inches wide, I'm going to set my ramp length to 4. And that's going to be half the distance of this line. And what with this third item selected, what it's going to do, it's going to start at 0 on one edge, go down half of an inch to the middle, and then it's going to come back up. Now I can tell the ramp type down below where I have a straight ramp or a linear ramp or a like a curved ramp. So we're going to click the linear ramp, and I'm going to calculate this. First I got to select my router bit. So I'm going to use a V bit, and so this is the IDC Woodcraft database. If you have Vectric software and you haven't imported the database yet, you may want to get the database. You can get that at the idcwoodcraft.com website. There is a link down in the description for that. And also, if you haven't updated it in a while, you might want to, because we have populated it with some new bits. So I'm going to grab my 3/4 inch diameter 90-degree V-bit and select that, and then we're going to calculate this. And we're going to rotate that up and zoom in a little bit. And you can see this kind of V shape in the tool path. So what that's doing, it's starting at the top edge on the left. It's going to make 2 different cut passes. And it's going to be a V shape going to the middle. And it's going to come back out. So we're going to preview that tool path and rotate that down. And it's got straight lines towards the bottom of it because the bit wasn't wide enough for that. But you can see, let's see if I'm going to rotate that around. It does that. It actually goes down and comes back up. So fluting toolpath is what you want to use for that, based on what I am seeing you are asking here. Yep. So Tim, you can set the ramp length down for how far in, so it can come down a little bit, and then it'll go across, and then it'll go back up. You can do so much stuff with the fluting toolpath. One of the great little things for fluting toolpath is for making a soap dish. You can make your water drains just go out at an angle. So it's very cool. Okay, so we got the, did you make a video yet, Liberty? Liberty, I'm going to bring you out. You can talk to them about what you got on the plate. I told Liberty it's time to come up with another project, and I think she's brainstorming with some of the ladies and whatever. Got anything going on?
Yeah, actually. So I'm working on the Vectric / the tool paths for 2 different projects right now. One, I had the ladies on Women Who CNC help me out and give me some input on. And my only struggle with that one right now is finding a piece of wood that will work, or braving the skills of gluing wood together.
So how big is the project?
Yeah. What?
How big is it?
About like 12 inches, but maybe 15 by 10, but it's like 3 to 4 inches thick.
Okay. All right. Then we'll have to run there is a specialty lumber mill down on Deputy Pike. And so maybe we can get down there and
I know the one you're talking about. Right? I'll call them tomorrow.
Yeah, they call it tiny lumber. All right. Yeah, I found another one that's down in Kentucky. So yeah, gonna have some fun with that. Okay, well there you go, Ellen. That's what Liberty's got going on. Cool. Liberty's awesome. She was taking Kyle's course, the Vectric course, right? Which I always recommend that new people take when they get into CNC and they start on the Vectric software, because there's so much to learn. And if you don't know how to design, then you don't know, you're going to run into problems, right? And so you have to understand the concepts of designing and all the powerful tools that are in the Vectric software. And it's kind of funny when I'll go ask Liberty to do something, I'm going in there, oh, I don't know if she knows this. Then she's like, oh, okay. Then she takes care of it, right? And she actually knows more tools in Vectric software than I do. So she should probably be doing the lives, not me. Okay. Let's see. So got to pull that back off. Okay. So we got Dennis. Have I ever used a muscle chuck brand collet? So Dennis, we actually, IDC Woodcraft used to carry those, and yeah, they were on the website. So we took them off because we were having some challenges with some aspects of that, and so it proved to be more of a challenge that wasn't worthwhile. I have thought about I've thought about designing our own style of muscle chuck, but in order to do that, what I need, this is an announcement for anybody who is maybe interested. We are looking for a product manager, and that product manager, excuse me, that product manager will be responsible for sourcing tooling. They will be responsible for the quality aspect. They will be responsible for much of the design aspect and the testing. And then once all that's established, then it gets passed off to Julianne and Liberty for the rest of the stuff, getting the product labeled and on board on the website and what have you. So product manager, we are looking for that. I need to get that off my plate. So I need someone who is technically proficient, understands engineering, and ideally some tool concepts and geometries, and then also has sourcing abilities. So that's what we're working on, and that's the answer to the muscle chuck. So Mark, our brother Mark, has popped on board. So let's bring him up. What's up there, brother Mark?
Oh man, I'm just too busy to sit down. How you guys
Yeah,
doing?
you're in the house. So you're in the
Yeah,
house.
I'm in the house. I've been gone most of the day. You can see my rat trap back here, and didn't have time to get anything out in the shop fired up. No heaters turned on, no nothing, and it's just too cold out there.
Yeah. How cold is it there?
Well, compared to where you guys are, it's nothing. We're looking at 46.
Okay. Well, Oregon is
So
generally a warmer state. So that's like you're around the banana coast, right? Is that what they call it?
we get the rains we get here, we call them the Pineapple Express, and that's because it's all coming from the tropics.
Pineapple Express. Yeah. Yeah.
And we stay, pretty mild. So, but
Yeah. Lucky you. Lucky you. It's a chilly 46. So I do feel bad for you.
well, yeah, it's been in the 20s, but we've got some rain come in. The snow level's gone up, so it's not super cold. Thank you.
Right. Right. Oh. Oh. I wanted to share with folks first before Mark shows about this STL thing. Um, so I just got the G Control touch controller for my alt mill and installed it. And I love having that control right there. And that G Control is a PC. All right. So I loaded the Vectric software on it, and a second screen. So the thing is so nice. I'm going to release a video tomorrow about that. But ladies, put in the comments description link to the G Control. If you have an alt mill, long mill, or any GRBL based CNC router, this beats the touchpads. It beats the Masso controller because it is of course, Masso is a different operating system, so it can't do a whole lot with that. But it's so nice. Okay, Mark, I guess 5 in Wisconsin. Whew. All right, Mark.
Yeah,
Why
no
don't you
thanks.
show how to keep the STL
Okay.
file?
Let me share my screen here. And because I'm in the house, I only have one monitor here. So it's going to kind of
Yep.
jump. And now I've got VCarve
Okay.
open. I don't know if you can see it or not.
We're not. Oh, there it is. Okay, so bringing it up. Oops, there we go.
Okay, so you can see VCarve on your screen now? Okay.
Yep, we
I
got it.
can't see you. So if anybody has any questions, feel free. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm in VCarve 12.0. I'll go up here to import a component or 3D model. You can also go through the file menu, import component or 3D model. It doesn't matter. They both do the same thing. Then I'll click on that and I will go to, I've got some CNC files that I have saved here. Let me come down here and find one to play with. Oh, I'll use this one here. It's kind of a snowflake type of a file. I'll import that and it'll switch me over to my import screen. It's not really a snowflake, but kind of a snowflake. All right, now from this screen right here, we can see this red box down here, this red square. That's my actual material size. If you ever see this, this was created in metric. If we look at the size, 174.6 inches in X. Yeah, no, it was done in metric. So I'll just click scale millimeter to inches, and that brings it down to a more reasonable size. Then I'll select center model. And that's got my model placed roughly in the middle of my material. And that's fine. I can do any scaling I need to do once I have it imported. So now I just want to position it. So I'll click on that, go over to position and import. What I'm looking for here is this gray plane is our modeling plane. This is what we're going to be using. That's our plane out in the program when we start creating the model. what I want is you can see how some of this is real bright blue. Some of it has a gray cast to it. Everything in gray is below that plane. So I need to bring the model up so that the bottom of my model is on this plane. This
And
is
you did it
for
with the slider
with this slider right here. Now, you have a couple of choices. If this is something like an egg shape, a complete egg, or a ball, a sphere, something that has a top side and a bottom side, you can import both sides. But on something that has a flat back like this, I want to discard anything that's down below this gray plane. Now, in this case, there's nothing there, so that's fine. Everything here looks good to me. I'll import it. Then that brings it in, and I'm looking at it in the 3D view. Now, from here, I can look over my 2D view, and there is the grayscale bitmap from that STL file. From here, all I need to do is go over and save as. So I'll put it on my desktop, and I'll call it Snowflake. And save it. I no longer have the asterisk up here, and I have the title. Now I can close it. Now, I shouldn't have done that. Sorry about that. There's the file right here on my desktop. So now I'm just going to double click that file. And there it is with my 3D model.
And so if
it should save with this model if you have saved it after the import. If you don't save it, it should ask you. Let's see. Let me do something simple and silly here. There. Now I've made a change. I have the asterisk up here next to the title showing me that I have not saved it since I made that change. Now, if I close it, it's going to ask, you've made changes. Do you want to save those changes? I can say yes, no, or I can cancel closing, either or. But it should save with the 3D model if you have saved it after import.
Okay, and it would save with the 3D model as a CRV file, right?
Yes, it's saving it as a CRV file. Now, because it's VCarve Pro, that's really all you can do. In Aspire, there is a way I could, once this is imported, I can save this as a piece of clip art to put in my clip art library. But that's Aspire only.
Okay.
And to do that,
so you can't put it in your library.
Right. Right. You can, but what you're doing is you're putting the entire file into your clip art library.
Oh, gotcha.
So any tool paths you create or anything like that will also be added in your clip art library. But there's nothing wrong with that. If you use it a lot, that you certainly can.
Okay.
So, but if it's not saving with the STL file imported, shoot a email to Vectric support and let them know, as you may have an issue.
So. All right. Cool. All right, folks, I do know that my image is fuzzy. I have slow internet where I'm at. We are working on it, but it's not hardwired in. I had one internet service and then got another one. Now I have satellite service, which still is not as good. So the team is diligently working on that. All right. Let's see. Okay. Someone's asking Jeff, alt, is it really worth the money? Well, folks who have an alt mill CNC router, I'm assuming. What's that?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's talking about the alt mill, but I'll shut up.
Yeah. No. Folks, for those who have an alt mill CNC router, let's let the audience speak about it. But I will say what I like about the alt mill. Number one, its price point for its performance is uh, it's nuts. I would not have expected a 4x4 machine to come out at a $3,100 price point range, and it's when it does the STL files, it's so quick. They really focused on the shortening the acceleration and deceleration time, which, yeah, super quick. So I will let folks who own it give you their input, but I do want to see if there's some people. Let's see, Ed says alt mill is almost certainly worth the money. And then, okay, yep, I'll just watch the comments. So I love my alt mill. I love my alt mill. See, Carrie is another first time here, so we're gonna wait on those. That was Corey, sorry, and another newbie. Oh boy, we're gonna be doing some happy dancing, Mark.
Uh-oh.
All right. I like this question because most people don't know about this. Can you discuss the job summary sheet in Vectric? I actually think I have one here. Let's see if I can find that. So, Mark, will you explain what the job summary is?
I'm trying to find a file that I have all my toolpaths calculated and everything. Let me find one real quick, and I will do just that.
Yeah. So, folks, the job summary is a tool that is in Vectric. I'll share my screen, and Mark can dive into the job summary itself. So I'm going to share, and then I'm going to go to this project right here. So this is the card holder, and I'm going to go over the tool paths.
Oh, perfect.
And yeah. All right. And so right next to the save button, the save toolpaths button, there is a button. It's like a little piece of paper, and it says create job sheet. And so when you select that, it's going to ask you where you want to save that at. So it automatically titles it Card Holder Design Summary. So Card Holder Design is the name of the file that has this project in it. And when I save that, then I can go into my directory and we can open that up. And I now have this summary. It shows the drawing. It shows a lot of information about how the 0 points on the project, where the router bit's going to be at the home position. It shows all the router bits themselves. This I'm going to send to Vectric here, because when it creates a second line on the router bit name, it doesn't create the second line for the other one. So the router bit names are running past the actual toolpath name. So it's got all the toolpaths, tells you what.
They are aware of that, and they are aware of that, and a fix is coming.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, so it's got the toolpath summary, and I'll let Mark talk about the rest of it.
Well, so basically, that's it. Everything you said is pretty much it. They are aware of the times not moving down with the first line of each bit, and a fix is coming for that. That has been talked about, along with, I see it's working now. Usually if you have notes in a toolpath for a bit or something like that, what would happen was page 2 would be superimposed on top of page 1. So it was impossible to read.
Gotcha.
They have since fixed that. But you also down there, as you're showing, as you're scrolling down, there are notes for each toolpath. Up above it, this is all the toolpath summary, and then it goes through each toolpath one by one and lets you know what your feed and plunge is, your spindle speed, all of this. for each individual toolpath. And they are great to use. I see a follow-up question over here. Donald Amlaw is asking, can you add notes to the summary? Yes, you can. You do that in toolpath notes. When you go to save the toolpath, you can put notes in there. And then
I'll let you. Well, maybe here I'll
Okay.
switch over and you can show me where to do that at.
Okay.
Let's see. Whoops. Yeah. Let's see.
when
That's the right
you go to save your toolpath,
I gotta shut this screen off. Okay. When I go to save,
right there should be notes right there.
okay. So
Select the
where's
toolpath,
I got the toolpath?
and there isn't a notes blank there.
No, let's go to the other one here. Wait a minute. Okay. So I got all the toolpaths, and I don't see a notes button here.
Huh. Okay, now I'm gonna have to let me jump in and see if I can find it. Now I've got to remember where the heck I had that at.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah. But anyway, this job summary is very, very helpful because number one, at the top you have your design. Then they tell about the material setup, and they have the size of the material. Then they talk about the home or the start position. Like if you do the lower left corner, it tells you your Z datum position. Like for this one, the Z is at the bottom of the material. Oh, I'm sorry. The home or start position is at X0, Y0, and then a Z 1.85. Right. And here it tells you what corner you have you're going to zero out on. And then here it's got your pull up when the clearance. So when the router bit needs to carve and then it has to pull out to move to another spot. In this case, it'll pull up 0.2 inches and then do a rapid move. The toolpath summary. This is all the toolpath names in the first column.
That's where toolpath notes is.
The second, okay, where?
In toolpath
Where's
summary
toolpath?
on the software. I'm sorry, I had the wrong one.
Okay.
Close that and go into toolpath summary.
Toolpath summary.
Right
so,
there.
Okay, that would be the clock. Okay.
Right.
There's the notes field right there.
And there's the notes field right there.
Okay.
You can enter your notes right there, and that's where you can put the job summary. Put notes into the job summary there.
Okay. And is this not a note for toolpaths, but it's like a general note that you can put in, correct?
No, this is a note for toolpaths, and you can select which toolpath you want that to appear in. Now, if you just want general notes, that's something else.
Okay. All right. So I am on the fourth toolpath. I'm going to say hello, Mark, and then I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to.
You have to click apply for what? You had to click apply first.
Okay. All right. Oh, I see. Okay. So hi, Mark. Hi, Mark. So I'm learning here too, folks. Okay, there's a little apply button there. Okay. And we're going to close that. Now I'm going to do the job summary again. And we're going to type in job summary 1. And I'm going to go to my directory, open that one up. Where is it? There it is. Job summary. There it is. Okay. So I put it in the fourth toolpath. So there's all the toolpaths. There's toolpath number 1. That's the toolpath name and all the information about that toolpath. There's number 2, number 3, number 4, and so it should put high mark in this one. I believe it's the fourth one.
I think it was. I thought it was. Okay, it's putting in.
No, folks, we're learning too.
It's putting in the tool. Okay. It's not adding toolpath notes. It's just adding tool notes. Okay, it appears that you're going to have to
Yeah.
put that in the. Oh, wait. Always ramp it. Okay, no, that's fine. Never mind. Nope, it didn't add it. Wow, make me a liar here. I
Well,
hate
you know what?
doing things by memory.
I'll have to play with it. Well, you actually did it once in
Yeah,
a different thing that we did, and it showed up. So, so that's the job summary, folks. It's a really good, handy tool to have because it
Mhm.
prints everything out in order of your order of operations. It gives you every piece of information you need, including your material size and all that good stuff. All right, so
okay, I see three people over there saying yes, it was there. We saw it. I saw it. It was there. Okay, I didn't see it, but if you
all
did,
right.
that's fine.
All right, well, I'll have to go back and look at it and bring it back up. In the meantime, let's see what Landy has. Checking his spoil board was O on whole left corner, but went to 0.09 to right side. Should I just surface from 0 to right or take some off all of spoil board? Oh, he's talking about his deviation. So he's got a 0.09 deviation from one side to the other.
Yeah, I would surface the entire spoil board, and I would surface the entire. What I don't even measure, Landis, when it comes to how close am I. I will take a pencil and I'll draw over the entire spoil board and then surface it till the pencil's gone. But yeah, you need your spoil board to be flat and level. And so if your spoil board is 9 plus 9 thousandths on the right side, just surface the whole thing. But the thing is to make sure that your table is flat and level before you surface anything. Because if it's not, it doesn't matter what you do. It's not going to be flat.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, and you should resurface. I agree with Mark, especially if you're doing fine V carving. That is going to stick out like a sore thumb.
Oh, you bet.
It'll V carve. Yeah, it'll totally stick out like a sore thumb. So, what time are we? We're at about 8:52. Okay, we got Lime Flex. Cool name. Another new name I've seen. Profile toolpaths for Vectric. I said I had a video about this in a earlier video he had watched. What video is that? Also new here. Okay, so we'll have to make note that you're new because you're going to get a happy dance too. So I can tell you a whole bunch of videos I've done with profile toolpath. So has Mark. But I just put out, I released the first video yesterday, and it is about designing this marble maze. So the first video is the design, the second video is all about the toolpath, and the third video is setting it up on the CNC. I really dive deep in that. So I got profile, there's a lot of profile discussion in that video. So we'll link that here as well. And I watch it. That video dives deep. That video is an hour 20 minutes just on the design of the marble maze. How to find the right maze, how to get it imported, sized up, checking it, making sure it's going to carve. Good stuff like that. All right, so I'm going to leave Lime up starred, ladies, because he's going to get a happy dance along with the others here.
The profile toolpath is one of the more basic but essential toolpaths to learn and master. So by all means, that may be a long video, but by all means do check it out because you will use the profile toolpath a lot. Probably the most used toolpath of all.
Yeah. The most used profile pocket, and then for me is the V carve.
Same here
as well. So, those are the three most common. I think everybody will use. That's probably why they're the first icons to the left. As soon as you get into it. Let's see, Corey, you're asking if I'm open to visit if I was to come down and live in northern Indiana. Sure, Sure. Well, yeah, we get visits quite a bit. Although I've moved, so it's not as convenient now. So I run my business out of the house, but the office is downtown where it was. They actually stole my apartment, but it was a good move. All right. From Joey Sawdust. So you'll be carrying ER11 collets and nuts. Outstanding. I want to order my backups from you. All right. Well, let's bring the ladies on board, and they can tell us when they expect these to come online. So everything's ready to go. It's literally, we're going to bring you ladies on board about the ER collets. So what's the status? When do you think these things are going to come online? What's the holdup right now?
Our holdup right now will be getting the actual container labels. We're currently waiting on those to be wrapped up, printing, and shipped. So, weather willing, we should be getting those hopefully end of this week, if not next week. Then we'll do our labeling, which is a couple hundred ER collets and nuts, and thankfully the wrenches do not have labels.
Yeah.
So we'll hopefully get those out. Well, factory in Workbench Con. I want to say March.
March, I'm going to say by the end of February.
End of February, really. Really,
yeah.
With you and Liberty leaving and me having to, hop in and cover for both of you guys being gone. I admire your optimism there, but realistically, it'll probably be March.
I'm just going to put the energy out to the powers that be, and things
Okay.
will happen the way they need to happen. There we go.
She could have said May. I mean,
Oh no, hopefully not.
Could have. Garrett does have certain limits.
I have a question. It may be a foolish question. Are you selling the collets with the nuts, or will you be selling collets and nuts separately?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So just so you know, folks, that means if you order a collet, order a nut to go with it.
Yeah. Well, it'll be
easier.
on there. It'll be on the website in a way, where you're selecting that. Do you want to get this as well? All right.
Yeah.
Debating doing collet sets. I'm not sure yet. So when it comes to collets, folks, they do wear out like anything else.
Yes.
The collets do wear out. So if you start noticing what we call bit slip or run out. So bit slip is when the bit is starting to slip while it's cutting. That could be an indicator that your collet has lost some of its roundness, or it has actually polished itself up too much from the bit spinning in there. If your collet gets too smooth on the inside, then it's like an ice skating rink. Yep. And another thing is run out. If you are starting to notice that your router bit may have a little wobble to it, that's run out, and that's an indicator that the collet may be bad. But one thing to do on occasion is get a piece of Scotch-Brite and make sure you clean up the inside of your spindle. All right, because debris does get jammed in there between the collet and the spindle taper as well.
I find that a 22 caliber nylon bore brush works real well. Real well for cleaning rifles and what have you. Okay. And it's beautifully. A nylon 25 caliber, nylon 25 caliber bore brush. Just about any sporting goods shop should have them. $3-4.
Okay. All right, and always.
I'm looking at Greg's question here.
Okay.
He said, "What about your collet?" Sorry.
Yeah. Every time you do a bit change, always clean out your collet.
Yeah.
Got it out finally.
My bad.
And I have changed my method. I used to use isopropyl alcohol, but now I've switched over to simple green, and it works much, much better. And it's a little bit more expensive, but $1 or $2. But simple green works nice, real nice.
Good.
All right. Do you guys
Just-
want to do?
I
Go
was
ahead,
gonna say,
Boss. What's up?
we got some things, just so everybody's aware.
Okay.
The ER pallets that we will have, ER 11, 16, 20, and 25. And we'll have 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch, various throughout all of those. So I could run down the list, but it's quite extensive.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and we
All
will
right,
have
let me-
pallet nuts, and they have been dynamically balanced. So that means they will run balanced on your machine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should we do some happy dances?
Yeah.
I'm down.
You ready to dance, Mark? We got new people on board here.
Oh, I'm an old man, but I'll give it my best.
You know, it takes something like that. Of course,
Yeah, if
I
you don't
fuzz
have
out really bad
bursitis.
when I do it. I fuzz out really bad when I start moving, so you can't see how bad I really dance.
I do too, and I don't need to be on camera for that. I just fuzz out naturally.
All right, well, let's start off. We got Dan. All right, so Dan gets the happy dance. And Drug Runner, he gets himself a little happy dance. And it's Corey. Corey says, let's go. My first stream where I actually am using the CNC.
Hey, sweet.
Corey.
Sweet.
Yeah, for sure. So are you streaming with your CNC on? I mean, that would be a good one. Who else we got? Oh, and I got another one. New to CNC. We got Red Knight 40.
40?
Yeah, cool. I like that. Red Knight. Oh. And Kirk is new.
All right,
Kirk. Who else we got? Oh, I've run out of them. There's got to be more down the list here, aren't there? I'm gonna pop
I'm
off
sure
the ones
there
that I just.
Nope, don't see any new ones. Don't see any new ones. All right.
Yep. There's
No.
another one.
Oh, there's one. Manny.
Manny's things.
Manny gets the special dance, the special happy CNC dance. And if Kimberly's on board, I didn't see her name. I'm sure she's rolling, just like going, oh my God, these guys are still doing this. Ugh.
Is that Kimberly Went?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think that I saw Ellen put a comment in earlier that she was new.
Yeah, right.
Just to see us
No.
dance.
Come on now, Ellen.
Ellen's
fun. Ellen is one of my favorite people that I've met through this whole community. She's a lot.
When we were at the Vectric show down at Texas, Liberty and Ellen were like inseparable.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Who each other was. Yeah.
Mhm.
They were like stuck together like glue. That was fun.
She's one of my favorite
Cool.
people that I've had the pleasure of meeting throughout this entire community. She's a lot of fun.
Nope.
Always
One last minute.
very smiley.
Go Jim.
Oh,
Go Jim.
Get it, Jim.
JW.
Get it, Jim. All
Jay.
right.
Okay. For all those of you, Ellen, Greg, Brooks, and Jack. I mean,
You know what those guys get?
Yeah, their discount code just added 20%.
Yeah.
Yes.
love it.
That's funny. They got a negative discount code.
That's it.
Gets donated
All
back
right.
to our dance
Are you
lessons.
ladies ready to do a giveaway since everybody's on board here?
That's what I'm thinking.
Sure. Let me get everything running and good. Let's see.
You got a code?
Oh,
No,
that
it's
would
just
help, wouldn't
allergies.
it?
Yeah, probably.
Quick on the spot. What's the giveaway?
Mark.
What?
Hashtag what?
All right, so folks, we do a random giveaway every week, and the ladies are in charge. They choose what it is, and Greg says pound dance. Okay,
Okay, hold on. I got one.
so
She got one. Okay.
so
there we go.
the bosses are now taking over to do this giveaway.
Run the show.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Coffee
So
time.
Mark, you and I would do what we do and let the real people who really wear the pants take over.
Here we go.
Rock on.
Rock on. Yeah. Greg.
Hey,
Oh yeah, no. Not okay.
Free stuff.
Summertime blues.
Rock on. Okay, is the
Right,
term.
rock on.
Song from the 70s by
tell
David
folks what to
Essex.
do.
Hey, Dan.
Tell the folks that have not been here, tell them what to do.
Oh, yeah. So if it's your first time here, this code, including hashtag or #, whichever you know it as, you enter that in our chat here on YouTube, and we're collecting entries as we go. We have a nice little drawing thing that will make it fair. Everybody who types this in, you only have to type it in once. And then when we pick a time, it will draw from whoever has entered that specific code. And we will be doing 2 drawings tonight for, $20 gift cards to IDC Woodcraft.
Ooh.
Our 2 winners will receive a $20 gift card each. So, yeah.
Type it just like you see it. No spaces, no capitals, just hashtag rock on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, they're coming in. So that's
Now that
cool.
song is going to be
The
stuck in my brain for
$20
the
gift
rest of
card
the
to
night.
IDC Woodcraft.
Well, I couldn't use
how-
It's Cold again.
Oh, you did that last time, didn't you?
I did.
Did you do burbits?
Burbits. I could, baby.
Polar Burr.
Yeah, whenever we do that, though, we got another first timer going on here. Where is that?
All right.
Woo.
Mark,
Where
I
was
thought
I?
that was
Oh.
just me. Oh, no.
Yeah,
I gotta-
Doug is a first timer. Hey, Doug, we get a little happy dance.
All right.
Yeah. We love having first timers here, and Doug even reminded us that twice. He said it again, just to make sure we got it. We got you, Doug. Welcome, my brother.
Forville
And,
Quizlet says, long-time listener, first-time caller. Turn your radio down, no
Yeah.
swearing allowed, speak clearly into the phone, and make mama proud.
Ellen wants a round over bit.
Aw.
Yeah. So anyway, so we are in the middle of a giveaway right now. 2 $20 gift cards to IDC Woodcraft. And are these physical? These are digital gift cards, right? So
Yes.
they'll get
These are, we haven't got our physical ones yet. I'm still doing research on those. So let's see.
that's a Bob and Tom reference.
I never heard it on Bob and Tom. In a former life, I wanted to be a DJ, and I hung around radio stations a lot and was studying for my license when the economy dropped out, and I went in the Army instead. So that's where I heard that first.
Neat.
Fair
It
enough.
was a little jingle song they would play when somebody said, "I'm a first-time caller." Oh, really? Okay, click. I mean,
All right. Let's see.
I say we go
Um,
ahead and draw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Draw our first one. Ready. And here we go.
I love this. This is so much fun.
wait till you see confetti. There we go.
Vincent.
Vincent DiGirolamo. Vincent, congratulations. Ooh, Vincent.
Vincent DiGirolamo.
Very lovely
Yeah.
name. All right. So, really quickly,
Very-
all you have to do is email us at Garrett@idcwoodcraft.com, and you can put the subject line as Wednesday winner. and we will get you taken care of. All right. Now we have one more drawing to do. Are there any last minute entries or no?
If you've already entered, you are still entered.
Yes. And this is only for this part of the show too. I remember there have been some stragglers, so you want to make sure that you're actually on the live and not on a delay.
All right.
So,
Yep.
all
Dan
right,
says, go. I guess might as well hit it.
let's do it.
Another
Ernie, I
$20
think
gift
that's
card.
pronounced Captain Obvious, Mark.
Yeah.
Woo!
Rookie, what's up?
All right.
See, now you can't
Yeah,
say
all
I
right.
never win anything anymore, Brooke.
Right.
All right.
All right. Cool. So email Garrett at idcwoodcraft.com. Might as well take care of it now. And
Yep.
they say Wednesday winner, right? That's the subject line.
Yep. And I'll keep my eyes out for it. So,
We'll let y'all
Look,
get back to the questions.
yep.
We've got the fun.
Yep. Ask a question. All right, ladies. Thank you much. They will be in the background, taking care of you and taking care of us. All right, let's get to the next one. So we've got 14 questions hanging out there. So we're not going to take any more questions. We've been started all the way up to this point of the questions. So we're going to try to burn through this pretty quickly, Mark. All right.
Okay.
Our friend Giles, he won a couple weeks ago. I believe. Isn't that right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't remember what he won, but so let's see. I'm making my spool board with a dropout section so you can cut deep pieces of boards for dovetails. I can make it square to the spoil board, but how do you make it square to the spindle, which varies?
Ooh, good one. I've seen this done a couple of ways. And the one that I thought that looked the funkiest, but it actually worked the best, was a guy got a hold of a piece of aluminum rod, 1/4 inch diameter aluminum rod, put it in his collet, and it was about, I want to say it was about 2 foot long. And he just dropped it down into place where that section was removed from, and then made sure everything was aligned and straight with that aluminum rod. Now you have to make sure that aluminum rod is straight, because if it's got a bend in it, you're just messing yourself up. But I've seen people use everything from test gauges to gosh, I can't think of the name of it. What it's called? Not a bubble level, but it's got a dial on it. Anyway, I've seen people using angle gauges and everything else.
Yeah. Inclinometer.
Thank you. I can't say that on a good day.
Okay. That's actually brilliant. Using a long bar, as long as the bar's straight.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can even cut yourself a square piece on the table saw that's nice and straight and square, and then round the tip and stick that into your collet, because you're not actually going to turn it on and let it spin. You're just using it as an alignment gauge. Yeah, Randy B says a whiskey stick. Yeah, a whiskey stick, basically.
Gotcha.
So,
all right. Joe says, how conservative is our tool database, the IDC Woodcraft tool database, to come up with proper chip load? So right now it's at the lower end of chip load. So you can definitely increase feeds and speeds. It has been made conservative because I don't know how people run stuff, and it also varies from machine to machine. So we are in the process of working towards getting publishing our chip load numbers for you, so people can work with that as well. So Terry says, on the IDC tool database, when you add that to Vectric database, does make you have two separate databases? If so, yeah. So the video, when you get our database, you're going to download it as a zip file. You unzip it. There's instructions in there. It says read me first. And there's a link to a video. And that video tells you how to add to your database. It'll do it in such a way that it will not remove anything else, because I don't want to mess with anybody else's tools. So everything else that's in there, it will be in there. As far as a separate database, so everything is under a hardwood status, right? So I don't separate it for hardwood, softwoods, and what have you, right? So not really. There's no separate databases you can pull from in the Vectric, right? You can classify them under different woods and other materials,
Yes.
but there's no like you can import one database, turn that one off, turn on the other one.
No, you just select them
of-
within the database tree. Because
Yeah,
like you
okay.
can have the regular Vectric database, then you can add the IDC database. It won't merge with your Vectric database. It'll just be there separately.
It'll add on to it. Yeah. So, okay. So the
Right.
question is does not make two databases. It just adds to the list, basically.
Right.
So it'll create a whole new category of IDC Woodcraft router bits, and it'll all be categorized under that as end mills,
Right.
V bits, and what have you.
Right. However
All right.
you have that
Lime
database set
says-
up. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Lime says molding toolpath. Do you have a video about how to do this? Mark has a couple out there. I will be making one when I get the video put together for this. I literally had all the video and I accidentally deleted it. This was going to turn into 7 videos. But Mark, you got a couple out there, right? On molding toolpath?
Yes, I do. I have a couple on my YouTube channel, and I need to make a new one for version 12 because I think the last one I did was on a version 11.5. But there's not much different in version 12. It just looks different, so I need to go ahead and make a new video.
Okay. All right. Do a search for molding toolpath. Look for Mark's videos, and he's got one that where you do the tapered hole. That's a molding toolpath, right?
Yes, I use the molding toolpath to carve a tapered hole on the.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Have I tried to get feeds and speeds from ChatGPT? No. No, I have not. Our stuff gets tested, right? I test cut everything, and that's the way we do it. So Wayne, it says that I run a 1/8 downcut bit on a. Can I cut a 1/4 inch hole 5/8 deep if I make it a pocket toolpath? Yes, you do a spiral cut.
Yeah, and that's how I would do it. That's exactly the way I would do it. Cut a 1/4 inch hole 5/8 of an inch deep using a 1/8 inch bit. Yes, that's exactly how I would do it.
Yeah.
As a pocket
Liberty or
toolpath.
Julianne, find the video. It's an older video, and I think it's titled "How to Cut Accurate Holes." How to cut accurate holes. The word "accurate" is in the title, so they'll link that in the comments, in the description. Make sure you check that out. It's a very cool way to cut basically any size you want. How to update your IDC database. So you download the database. If you haven't updated the IDC Woodcraft database, you go back to the website, go to database downloads, download the Vectric database, and follow the instructions. And it will update. It will not change anything. It will just update the database for any new tools that have been added to it. Just follow the instructions. If you don't follow the instructions, you could mess things up a little bit. Yeah. All right. Dogs is saying Garrett ran a V-carve toolpath using Gerbil GRBL inches and received an error 3 and the MK2 stopped. Reran GRBL millimeters and no issues. Should use GRBL millimeters going forward. You got to make sure all your things, if you design it in inches, use the GRBL inch post processor. Make sure I'm assuming you are running whatever you're running. Make sure your control software is also running in millimeters. What else? What else could cause that kind of problem?
I do not know
Error.
any. I don't know any Gerbil controllers, so I'm out.
I gotta look up error 33. I got the error sheet. And actually make that available. Okay, so let's see if we can find error 33. Error 33 is an invalid G code. ID 33. Motion command target is invalid. So I don't really know what that means. Motion command target is invalid. It's saying invalid G code. We have a download for this error sheet. If you can find that, ladies, go ahead and put that in the comments in the description. It's that error sheet download for GRBL. I'm not sure what that means for error 33. Yeah. So I'm not sure I can help. If you have what you want to do, if you have a CNC Labs machine, then go ahead and contact them and ask them about that. All right, Carl is saying I am to make a perpetual calendar, and when I type the letters or numbers around the circle, everything is upside down. What am I doing wrong?
Okay, the vector that you're having those letters or numbers follow is going the wrong direction. Put your start point on the other side. Let me see if I can. Let me pull up. Yes, I can do this in VCarve. Let me delete some stuff here, and then I will show what I'm talking about. This is very common. Happens all the time. All right. I've got VCarve open. Just let me know whenever you're ready.
Julian. Oh, there we go. Okay. Got it. You're up.
Okay. Making a circle here in the center of my piece of material. Now, I'm going to make 2 arcs out of this circle. If I'm only doing, if I'm putting text all the way around the circle, then you still need to pay attention to this. I'll tap the letter N on my keyboard to go into node editing. And we see that I have 4 points here. Now, if we look, my start point is right here. And the direction, you can see an arrow. I'll zoom in, but the arrow is not going to get any bigger. You can see an arrow right here saying that the circle is going this way. You want that circle to be going that way. We read left to right. If you draw something, it's going to draw right to left. It'll be backwards and or upside down. So what I'll do over here is I'm going to go to this side, and I'm going to right-click that point, and I'm going to cut the vector. I'm going to right-click this point, and I'm going to cut the vector. So now I have 2 arcs. Now I've got this arc with the arrow pointing this direction. My letters are going to follow it that way. If I look over here, select this vector, this is my start point. My arrow is pointing that way. My letters are going to go in that direction. That's what I want. Now, let me create some text. And I'll just type my name here. And that's way too big, but that's all right. I'll shrink it down, make it a bit smaller. And I'll put it right there just for giggles. Now I'm going to come over to this icon right here. Put text on a curve. I need to select the curve. I need to select the text first, then the curve. Now you notice that jumped up on top. I can have my text above the curve. I can have it below the curve. Or I can have it running right through the middle of the curve. But the important thing is that start point has to be over on the left. If the start point is over on the right, and I'll do that just to show you what it does. I'll go into node editing here, and I'll make this the start point. Okay, now if I go to text on a curve, I select this text and this curve, it's upside down and backwards. And it's all because of that start point. So if I Control Z to undo that, get out of here, Control Z, select this, go back into node editing, make this my start point. Now I can select my text, go into text on a curve, and it's the correct way. So that's basically it. Your start point has to be on the left for either top or bottom. So.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Hey, while you got this up, let's
Okay.
answer a real quick question that you can go.
Okay.
Go over to the database, tool database. So
Tool
for
database.
Forvo Quizlet is asking if we can mark the bits as favorites in the database. He says it's aggravating to pick through all those trees every time. So show him how he can move bits around so you can create your own little tree.
You can, there's no way to mark these really as favorites. Okay. So if I pick my 1/4 inch end mill, there's no real way to add this as a favorite. But what you can do is you can cheat by adding it as a material. If I come up here next to material and click this down arrow, I've got several different types of materials. I'm going to add a new one and I'll just call it favorites. Okay, and apply. Okay, and now I'm in my favorites tool category. Let me check on this. Am I in that? Yes, I am in that. Well, now wait just a minute. I didn't add this, did I?
Pull all the data. Pulled all the data. What I was thinking, Mark, is
it pulled all the data over there. It sure enough did. Oh, I renamed this one. That's what it was. Holy cow.
okay.
I didn't add a new one. Let me go back and change that to. Let me go back and change that. I didn't add a new category. Come on, Mark. You know how to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's where I want to. No, that's not it. I want to add a new material. I want to add a new material. Add a material to the database. There we go. That's what it was. Good grief. Favorites. Click apply and click OK. That's how it works. So I still have my hardwood. That's what I was looking at. So you'll go into the open material management right here. Click on the plus button to add a new material. Then name it. Now I have my favorites right here. And if we look at my 1/4 inch end mill, I have no settings down here, nothing. I can copy the settings from this tool for my machine from the hardwood category, click copy, and now I have this bit copied to my favorites. I click apply, and you'll notice that my bit is active and highlighted right there. I can do the same thing with other bits if I choose to do so, if I want those in my favorites. Then I can put all of these favorites into one group if I choose to. I can't remove these bits from just this material. It's just this is now the only bit that's within my favorites category. Okay. I don't know if that helps or not.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that's one way of doing it. Another way is create a new bit category, and you can copy
Yes.
them down into that category. I'll shoot a
Sure.
video on that. It's pretty. There's several different good ideas here.
Mhm.
Carl is saying he's trying to put 31 numbers all around the circle, not halfway around.
Oh, all the way around. Okay. All right. Well, then here's what we'll do. We will join those vectors. So we get one closed vector. Close. Now let me go in here. Come on. Join. One closed vector.
While you're doing that, yeah, Forvo, another suggestion I saw in the comments for highlighting your favorite bits is go and edit the name and put an asterisk in front of the name.
Yeah, you could do that. Sure. But he was talking about sorting through all the bits to find his favorites.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
yeah.
still got to
I got
sort
an idea.
through them
I'll shoot a
all.
video on that. Yeah, I'll shoot a video on that because that is kind of a pain to have to scroll through everything.
Okay, so if I want to do that around the circle here, let me go like so. And I want to go above the curve. And it's not going all the way around the circle, but at least it's correct. The start point, I got to get out of here. The start point is here, and my circle is being drawn in this direction. Now you're trying to put numbers around the circle for like a perpetual calendar. I have found about the only way to do that really is one by one. And what I'll do, no, forgot I was in node editing. What I'll do is I'll just draw a small circle, say a 0.25, and I'll put it, say, right here. Close. And then I will do a circular array. I'll do an array. I want a total of 30, I believe he said.
Yeah, 31 is what he wants.
31. Okay, 31. Oh, it's calendar. So, yeah, that makes sense. My rotation center, I want to be the center of my material. And I want a total angle of 360. I don't want to group them. I want to copy. And I've got 31 circles evenly spaced around this circle. Then what I'll do is I'll just create a just create my text, make it all the right height. I want, let's say, 0.5. Close, and then drag that up to the first position. Obviously, I would need to adjust, but you'd have to do each number one by one. And that linear array puts them at, it spaces them evenly around the circle in the way that you're talking about. I don't know if that's any help or not. And this was just done off the cuff by eyeball. But that's how I've done clocks. That's how I've done anything that's required me to have things spaced evenly. I'll either do a circular array of just a whatever shape to use as a placeholder.
Right.
And then go in and add that text one at a time.
I'm kind of, okay. I'm kind of curious when he said they're all backwards, but we'll have to revisit that one because send me an email with the file to Garrett at idcwoodcraft.com. And I'll see if I can check that out. All right, let's get on to some of these questions. Got 6 more left. Got Marco. So if you have room in the shop, is it better to go with a 4x4 alt mill or a 2x4? Or is 2x4 enough? So what's your thought on something like that?
Before you spend the first penny, before you spend a penny, sit down and make an honest assessment of what you plan on doing with the machine. If most of what you're going to make is able to fit on a 2x4 machine, then that may be good enough. If you might need more, then a 4x4 might be more appropriate. But also think about the area that machine's going to take up, because the footprint of the machine is one thing, but you need to be able to get all the way around it too. So basically my frame of thought is take the capacity of the machine, in your case 4x4, and double that. If you have an 8-foot by 8-foot space free and open, you have room for a 4x4. If you don't, it's up to you, but it may be difficult to maneuver because you will need to get around behind it. You'll need to be on the back of it. You'll need to be on both sides as well as in front of it. Because if you mount materials, you may need to drive screws or nails or something in that far corner. And if you can't get there, you're in trouble. But take an honest assessment of what you plan on doing with it, and let that be your guide. That as well as your budget.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. And when Mark says take an honest assessment, so we don't always, a lot of times people buy the CNC without really thinking about what they could possibly make in the future. And if you think you might get into some rather large projects or assemblies like Adirondack chairs or something, then that's when the larger machines really come into play. I found over time, I started with a 24 by 24 inch machine, went up to the 30 by 30, went to the 30 by 48. And I just kept finding myself limited by size personally. I just like having the capability to make big stuff, but it's not that often really that I make large stuff.
Yeah. And
that's what you'll find. If you're going to do production work, then you may want to seriously consider the 4x4.
But you make an excellent point there, because if you're going to be doing production work, you might not want to be looking at hobby level CNCs. It depends on what you're making. But I know a couple of people who decided go big or go home and built or bought 8x4 foot machines and found that most of the things they make you could fit in a 20 inch by 20 inch square. And so what they ended up with was the world's most expensive assembly table or junk table, because they just don't use it. It's kind of like you need a pickup truck so you can go to the dump, but you might haul gravel. So does it make sense to go looking for a 5-yard dump truck? Probably not, you know? Right. So, but you be honest with yourself on how you're going to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. And take into account what you might do in the future. So, okay. So Hammer, you said, how can I get a spindle dwell on my alt mill? Okay. I love this question. You will have to, so what he's asking is when you have, for the rest of the people who are here, if you have a trim router on your machine, you flip that switch and that thing's on and that's up to speed in a third of a second. Spindles take a little bit of time to wind up. And so the machine needs to have a dwell command in it, or what a dwell is, it's just a pause in the G-code program. So if it gets a spindle on command, and then the next line is going to be a dwell command, and that's going to say, okay, we're not going to read any more G-code for this amount of time, and that gives your spindle time to wind up. So what he's running into is the spindle turns on, it's already moving, and it's starting to cut while the spindle's still speeding up. So getting a dwell cycle into a spindle is important. And so I'm going to assume you're using Vectric. I'm going to show folks how to do this because you have to modify the post processor. So we're going to share my screen, and I'm going to select that. Go share, and then we're going to go to Vectric, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to close this. So when you go to save your toolpath, you're going to have the option to go select your post processor. And when you select that drop down, there is a thing there that says add a post processor. So select that. I actually got a video on this, so I don't remember which one it is. But you select that and you open up this list. So if you notice, I have two post processors here, and they have these two little pencils next to them, where yours doesn't. That means I've edited the post processor. So let's go. I'm going to add a post processor, and so I'm going to hit the little plus button. And I'm just going to select any post processor. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to click this BZ1. I'm going to right click it, and we're going to customize. And what that did is up at the top, and what it did basically is copy that post processor into a new directory. And it's got a pencil mark next to it. I'm going to right click that, and I'm going to say open file location. And so there is the post processor. I'm going to double click into that. And now there's a bunch of information in the post processor. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit. And so most of this top end information is it's parameters that the software is reading when it's getting ready to write this post or post the G code. What we're going to do is scroll down. Boy, there's lots of stuff in this one. Holy cow, maybe it's not a good one to do. I got to find where it says to turn on the spindle. Boy, G300. Have you ever heard of a G300?
I've heard of a G3.
Yeah, not G300. Okay, we're going to do a different one. This one sucks. Right. That's probably for an industrial
Pretty
level
heavy
machine.
industrial machine. You can try one of the Avids.
Avid, okay, all the way at the top. Avid, okay, I'll do a Avid inch. Okay, we're going to customize that. I'm going to right click it, open the file location, double click into the folder, and we're going to zoom in a little bit. We're going to scroll down.
This is made for Mach 4. So
okay. So I'm going to scroll down to where it gives the spindle on command, and that's what you want to look for. So I'm looking for an M3 right there. Okay, so what you're looking for is an M3 command, something in quotes. And what you're going to do, zoom this in a little bit more, is, so I'm on this line right here where it has an S in brackets, and that S is with the code that's above in the thing. It knows that this is the spindle speed that it's going to wind up to. And the M3 is spindle on clockwise command. I'm going to enter, and I'm going to put in quotes G4. Okay, that's telling it it's going to do a dwell command, and then you're going to put a P, and the P is the pause time. And then whatever number you put after that is the number of seconds it's going to pause for. So the best thing to do is to get an idea how much time it takes for your spindle to spin up to its maximum speed, maybe 24,000 RPMs. And that's the time you should use. That would be a default. So we'll just say 5 seconds. I'll put a 5 in there. So I have a G4 or a G04 and a P5. I close the quotes, and I'm going to save that post. We're going to close that, and I'm going to close the directory. And now what I'm going to do is select it. I have that post selected there. I'm going to click select at the bottom, and now that is there. I'm going to say OK. And when we look at the post processor, there it is right there. Do not change the title name or the file name of that post processor. It'll get things screwed up. Just edit the post and know that your penciled post is the one that you are fixing. And that's the, there you go. That's how you get a dwell. Took me a while to figure out how to get that post edited for that. Here's one for you, Mark. John, why are the times and toolpath summary not accurate when compared to the running of the job?
Because the software does not know how fast your Z is operating, doesn't know how fast your X and Y are operating. It doesn't know any of the variables involved with estimating times. So what you do is you will, let me bring it up, make sure I'm getting the terminology correct here. when you enter into toolpath summary, if you look, and that's with the clock that we were looking at earlier where the notes were, you'll see your rapid rate. Enter your rapid rate. That is when the machine is not physically down cutting material and you're just jogging on one of the axes somewhere. You'll enter that rapid rate there. You'll decide, is it inches per minute, millimeters per second, or whatever. Then down below that, you'll see a scale factor. Now, what I do normally is I will run a toolpath, and on my controller software, it keeps track of the amount of time that toolpath took to actually cut. Then I'll write that time down, come back in, and I will adjust that scale factor until I get a time that's very close to what the actual time was. Now on mine, it turns out it was 1.3. So I add that scale factor and it gives me a much more accurate time that time estimate is going to give you. Because there are so many variables out there.
Yeah.
Your X and Y might be able to move at 600 inches per minute, but your Z may not be capable of doing that because it's going such slow, such short movements. It's not going to move at 600 inches per minute. So VCarve doesn't know that, so. And no, I don't have a video for importing an STL into VCarve version 12. Not yet. I will put one up. I haven't done that yet.
All right. Miter 5 says, any news on when an ATC system will be available for the alt mill? I don't know. I talk to them every 2 weeks, every 2 to 3 weeks, but we haven't had a lot of discussion about an ATC. There's been a little bit of discussion there, but they're working on other stuff, and there was a comment in there that they're starting to consider an alt mill 4x8. So yeah, and that's it with the questions. I'm going to handle one more. You already answered it. You already got it. All right. The last one was for you. So, for Dwell, all the edits were done in G-Center firmware settings. Okay, yeah. For spindles I'm going to expand on this, what Wandering Stars has said about the spindle dwell. I don't have my G-Center hooked up to my router, but you can go into the firmware and there's a setting where you can tell it when a program starts it's going. You can kick in an M3 command, and automatically when it starts, it'll turn the spindle on. It'll still read the code, but it'll do that first. Then you have a dwell, right? And that's that spindle on. I'll shoot a video on it because it's an interesting feature they have. So you can pre-program what's going to happen when the program starts, what's going to happen when the program stops, when you pause the program, and it'll insert. Basically, it's a kind of a pseudo G code insert into the program.
Okay. Can I add one thing onto that?
Absolutely.
When we're talking about dwells, something else you might want to consider is not only the amount of time it takes for the spindle to come up to speed, but the amount of time it takes for your dust collection to come up to speed. My dust collector is a little bit slower than my spindle, so I have the command to turn on my dust collector before the M3 command to turn on my spindle. So it gives it just a little bit more time to come up to speed while the spindle is coming up to speed. Also, depending upon the manufacturer of the spindle, that dwell may be something built into your controller.
Yeah,
it is in my case. The dwell for the spindle is built into the controller. There's no G code that controls that dwell. It's built into the controller.
Yeah, that's built into my alt mill, so I'm not sure why right?
Mhm.
It's built into the alt mill. I'm actually like going, geez, now my dwell time is way too long because the alt mill has its own dwell cycle
Yeah.
built into it. So,
Mhm.
okay, well, we are going to bring the ladies back on board, and
Okay.
we're going to get ready to knock off. And we, let's see. So next Wednesday, we will be live. I will be live from Atlanta because we'll be flying down earlier in the day. And if Liberty wants to come on board or not, that's going to be kind of sucky because we're going to be down there and everybody's going to be hanging down at the bar, and I'm going to have to go live. That's maybe I'll just. Well, I want to vote.
Times
Should
is hard.
Julianne do a ladies' night with Kate or solo?
I was gonna say I can be your proxy at the bar, Garrett. It's okay. You handle the live.
Rude.
Wait, maybe you should do it at the bar if it's not too noisy. That way you can bring everybody who's like down there that everybody wants to see.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the set you up a revolving table like the between two palms where you've got a table. My next guest, get up, move. My next guest.
Well, I just might do that. We might do a workbench con live where we'll just chew the fat and see what everybody talks about.
Sounds good.
I like it.
Good. And no, I won't be at Workbench Con for folks who are asking.
I won't either.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fine.
We do
Go
need to get
ahead. Julianne and I will stay here.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
go have fun. See if we care.
Yeah.
We'll hold down the fort.
Yeah. Well, Julianne went to Atlanta for the
IWF.
show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. IWF.
It's
So.
nice.
All right. Well, folks, my bladder is completely full. And so I am going to have to check out. I don't know if you'd normally say it on a video, but I've said it. So next Wednesday we will be here somewhere. We'll figure this one out, and we'll just see you all then. Give us a thumbs up, and we will talk to you next week. Thanks, Mark, for popping on board.
You're very welcome anytime. You know me.
See you guys.
Thank you.